Good morning, guys. Justin here with Family Hardscapes, and today we're going to talk about installing a picket style fencing. Now, this was just a picture that the client had showed me of something she wanted. We had never installed anything quite like this, but I thought it looked really cool and I knew we could do it. So what she had in the picture was 1x4s to be able to encase the pickets. Originally, usually with like deck style railing, you'll have a 2x4 on one side and then the pickets on the outside, but she didn't want to see that, and I could understand why it doesn't look that good. So we went with 1x4s, and we were able to encase the top and the bottom with the 1x4s. Now also, because this is almost like an 8-foot stretch of fencing, we got 8-foot, we bought some 8-foot 2x2s, and we took them down in the ground just a little bit. That way we can pour concrete in here and it will strengthen this puppy up quite a bit. Now, it took us a minute to figure this one out because you want 3.5-inch spacing in between your pickets. That's the code. But when you get over here towards the end, of course, you're gonna have a small gap. What we first started doing was running a 2x2 and attaching it to the post. But then once we tried to do our math, we just couldn't figure out how to create that equal spacing. So it turns out what you have to do, show them these blocks. So what you have to do is, instead of running a 2x2 the whole way, you want to cut out these blocks the size of our 1x4, and that way this isn't exposed. You can't see this. And the next time we run this, and we'll show you here in just a second, when we run this, we'll be able to get equal 3.5-inch spacing until we get to the post itself. Now, how you figure out this spacing on this is we'll take a measurement from inside to inside on post.
This one is 92 3/4, bro.
92 3/4. So half of 92 3/4 is 46 3/8.
46 3/8. Yep.
46 3/8.
Yep.
So we got 46 3/8. Mark it right there.
All right.
And that is where we're going to run that mark. We'll run that center with this picket. So we'll put that picket right in the center of our mark, and then we can create our 3.5-inch spacing. Now, all we do is cut out a block. We cut out a 2x4, 3.5-inch. Now, you can't actually use, you probably could have once upon a time, but you can't actually just use a 2x4 to have 3.5 inches. It used to be that these were true 3.5 inches, but you never know what you get these days. You might get 3 1/4, 3 5/8. Who knows what it is? But we went ahead and cut out 3.5 inches, created our spacing in here. Oh, nice and tight, huh, guys?
Nice and tight.
So then once you run that, it'll give you your perfect spacing until you get to your post. But that's how to do it, and that's how to make it look great. So we're gonna go ahead and install a section right here just to show you guys how we do it. First, we'll run the posts. Then what we want to do is make our marking too, to make sure that we get these top rails lined up perfectly. We want to be able to make a mark on the bottom of this. That way we see where we need to install this puppy. And then I'm sure there's different ways you can do this, but I'll hold this on my line, and he's just going to make some marks where he needs to make this cut. That way we get our angle. Now, it's not going to look perfect. You might have, every now and then, you might have an 1/8 of an inch gap somewhere. I mean, we are dealing with wood, and we're dealing with 2x4s that come bowed, they're contorted. I mean, it's just, we can't do any better than we're doing with the materials that we've been given. But all in all, it looks amazing. We'll come back here in about a month and a half. We'll let this cure, and then we'll come back and give it a nice stain. And this thing's going to look sharp. So he's making his cuts. So what we'll do is we'll run the 1x4 on the top and the bottom for one side. Then we'll be able to come back in, we'll put our pickets in, and then we'll enclose it and then add our 2x4 for the top rail. Also, another thing, we need a chop saw. We broke our chop saw hauling it in the truck. Now we got to buy a new one. We'll get a new one.
It looks so good, dude. Got him powered up.
Yeah, it's good.
Staple it into the post.
Yeah, try to hit just a post in case we have to move it.
Oops. Soften it in a little bit. Nice. Put this one on the bottom here. Also, I ended up getting a staple gun. You could use screws for all this if you wanted to, as long as you charge the client for it. We were on somewhat of a tight budget, so we used shank nails to install most of the posts, but I didn't like the way the shank nails were holding into this 1x4, so I went and bought a staple gun, but 2 staples on it seemed to hold it quite well. Much better than the shank nail did. I need where's my mark at over here?
Should be marking with the bottom of that.
Bottom line?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard. I need a torpedo level. Yeah, you really need a torpedo level to be able to hold off the bottom of that block. Of course, like I said, it ain't gonna be perfect. Here, while he's doing that, we can show him what some of these other ones look like. See, is this the one where it ended up falling in perfectly, 3.5 inches?
Yeah.
See, sometimes they go perfectly against the post, but so we've got this thing concreted in. It's that stable. You're gonna see a little bit of movement, but
You need me to wait on?
no, go ahead.
Watch. This one. What's that to do in this instant? Really supposed to be. See? Put nails into the block. So afterward,
So then what do you do?
we can just simply unscrew this and then put this back. This end up being right here.
Yeah.
That's the reason we didn't nail into these blocks till we get to the end. Because this has happened only one other time, but it does happen. It's better than building it and having to cut these.
So then how do you make sure that we have a secure block for this 1x4 to be attached to the post?
Well, what I like to do is I cut these short.
Yeah.
Because this is 3.5, so I cut this 3. What I like to do is I just make my measurement in between there. Cut the piece to fit. We can adjust it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 1x steel, in case it didn't cover it, you don't see it.
Okay.
We give it a shot?
Yeah, good idea. me to take this out?
Are you leave?
No.
You need to take them out, replace them with the long one. Do it like this. It doesn't go all the way up against it. This is one way of doing
One way of doing it.
it. Mm-hmm.
Of course, this is our first time building this one, so
We can do it like this. We can remove these blocks and put a hole in here, but we don't have anything up against the.
and it'd be a bigger gap than 3.5 inches. So if they wanted to come and give us a hard time about it not passing codes, which they could easily do.
But this would be the way we would keep them all even.
Yeah.
Evenly separated. We still have our blocks here.
Then you gotta staple it.
Then our 1x goes over it. This is rarely it happens. Generally, it all comes out pretty even.
Yeah. This. So where are we stapling this one to? Just the edge of the 1x?
Yep. And there you have it. And then we don't lose the integrity of having this, being able to nail that. That's
Yeah.
the way I like to do it. We could have taken this off, and then you got this gap here. You got nothing to help secure this. Because at the end of the day, it's just 1x4.
Right. Yeah, it's weak.
Sweet.
Without it. Well,
You like it?
yeah, like
You good to go?
that's strong. It doesn't really matter because you can't see it.
You can't see
When
it,
it's encased.
Right.
So
These staples hold so good too, bro.
yeah, they work a lot better than
Dude.
little shank nails will work, surprisingly.
Missed.
Missed.
This one.
Oh, I'm too low.
I just go in the middle of the 1x4. Yeah.
Well, I like to make my staple marks even, unlike yours.
Mine are in the 1x4, brother.
All over the place.
Where?
I know, but my OCD, you're all.
You got some OCD. But look what it's did, man. We got a really pretty.
Yeah.
I do. I'm OCD, bro.
I know you do. This top measurements along the short.
We can't just sit it in there. We gotta
Slide it in. One time.
Oh, now one staple might work. You're gonna need that. Well, we're gonna go through the whole box of staples we bought. How much are those boxes? Almost $80. I wonder which is cheaper, screws or freaking staples. Probably staples still.